And I would strongly suggest you do the exact same thing. You can use different colors, but anything to slow yourself down. And you can pause this video at any time. So when we're talking about homozygous, I know that homozygous means the same. So if I'm looking at tall, so tall means big T, because I'm looking at the genetics. So for it to be the same big T for tall, it would be capital T, capital T. So tall, big T, big T. For heterozygous, I know hetero means different, and we're looking at height. So I'm going to look and see what allele I use for height. Again, height is T, but it's heterozygous, so they're two different letters. So I'm going to use a capital and a lowercase. Now, if I'm doing homozygous dominant, homozygous means the same, and dominant is a capital letter, so I'm looking at seed shape. Seed shape is the letter R. So homozygous dominant would be capital, capital, because that's my dominant. You're going to finish doing the rest of these. For the bottom section, again, I would strongly suggest color coding. It's the same thing as like up above, except you're using people. So if I'm doing heterozygous in one letter, one color, and homozygous in another, that'll give me some clues. And so we're doing the genetics again. Keep in mind, if you see a slash, that means it means the same thing. So hetero, we know, means different. And if I'm looking for long eyelashes, and if they're hetero, that means they're different. So I've got a capital and a lowercase. Homozygous straight thumb. So thumb, in order for it to be homozygous means the same. So for it to be straight, it's got to have the dominant allele, so it'd be capital T, capital T. However, let's look at dimples. We're looking at genotypes, so genetics. In order for something to have dimples, it's got to have a dominant allele. So I could have big D, so the capital is showing through, or capital D, lowercase d for heterozygous, because either one can show through. Now with this, you're just going to continue on. However, the back side is where kids really seem to rush. Notice how it says genotypes, but then other times it's got phenotypes. So I would color code or something to help set yourself apart, because, and then same thing with heterozygous versus homozygous, some color coding, because kids seem to really rush on these. So I'll do the first little bit with you. What is the genotype? Genotype is genetics of a female who's heterozygous. Hetero is different. So I'm looking for the letters of eye color. So if I'm looking for eye color, that's my trait. So that would be different, so it'd be big E, little e. I'm just going to skip to 27 because this time it's talking about physical. What do they physically look like? So we're looking at what do they physically look like. If you got homozygous, that's the same, and capital is dominant. So homozygous dominant for widow's peak. Widow's peak is the dominant form. So if they have the alleles big W, they are going to show that they have a widow's peak. Make sure you color or something to slow yourself down, and do not rush, please.